Everyone, Steve Siebold back with mentaltoughnessblog.com. Okay, so here's my critical thinking question for you tonight. Are you getting what you want? In other words, are you getting what you want out of life? Now, surveys show across the board that as people age and they take surveys of people in their 80s and 90s, most of them say they didn't get what they truly wanted. And the reason was because they didn't take enough chances. They didn't take enough risks. They felt like they had to play it safe. And I don't think any of us wants to come to the end of our life. As my old friend Charlie Idle, the former president of Simmons Mattress, used to say, I don't want to be laying in my nursing home bed looking out the window thinking, I should have gone for it. And Charlie did, of course, and rebuilt Simmons Mattress into a multi-billion-dollar corporation. But most people don't do it. So the question is, obviously, it doesn't matter about other people, but are you getting what you want out of life? Are you on the road to getting it? Or are you just stalled? Are you stuck? And if you are, don't feel bad. A lot of people are stuck. It's easy to get stuck. So don't feel bad about it. The good news is today's a new day. Today's a new day. Look at the world, how it's changed just in the last 12 months with the shutdown. I mean, this is a whole reset. We are all relearning life in a different way than we ever thought we might. So maybe your priorities have changed. I don't know. Mine have. I love being at home now. I don't know about you, but I'm sort of rebuilding my vision going forward for the rest of my life because I didn't realize that I really didn't want to travel so much. I've been traveling all over the world. I've gone around the world 9 or 10 times as a speaker for the last 25 years. Or 24 years. And I enjoyed it. I just don't want to do it anymore. And so I love being home and all those kinds of things. But most people, here's the mental toughness part. Here's what I found. Most people don't get what they want, not because they're not capable. It's because they never decide exactly what it is that they want. Years ago, I decided when I was a little kid that I wanted to be a great tennis player. And I trained for about 7 or 8 years and became one of the best junior players for my age in the country and actually in the world during a couple of years. And then after 4 or 5 years of training 6 hours a day, just crazy, the things you have to do to become a professional athlete are sort of inhuman in some ways, unless you're just so passionate about it. And I sort of lost the passion for it. And I still went pro and I still played a couple of years. I made it to about the top 500 in the world and on the best day of my life. And that was it. But, you make a decision and I got most of what I wanted, but I changed my mind, as a lot of us do, because you change, you evolve as a human being. And that's great. I decided when I was 10 years old, I wanted to be a great guitar player. And then I took lessons on and off for the next 40 plus years, and I'm still doing it. And I'm not a great guitar player. I will tell you, I'm what they call a 3-chord player. I'm a hack. I love it. I have a guitar collection, and I play almost every day, and I really enjoy it, but I'm not a good guitar player. Well, I decided I wanted to be one. I realized at some point in college that I wasn't very talented at it. But I didn't put the work in. I didn't want to do the work to be a great guitar player, and frankly, I still don't. I thought I did, but it just turns out I changed my mind when I saw how much work it was to be a really good guitar player. And I've enjoyed it, and I'm fine with that. But I think a lot of us want certain things out of life, yet we only want to do half the work. Second question is, what price are you willing to pay? I wasn't willing to pay the price to be a great guitar player, or even a really good guitar player, even not great is a lower level. But I still enjoy playing. I play all the time, and I'm very happy with it. But I'm just giving you some examples. I decided in 1977 I wanted to live on an estate, a multi-acre estate, and have a large home and a tennis court in my backyard, because in 1977 I had a doubles partner in Chicago that had a tennis court in his backyard. They were a very wealthy family, and I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And then I got to see people all over the world I competed against in tennis at tennis courts in their backyard. And I thought, you got to have a tennis court in your backyard. That's the coolest thing in the world if you're a tennis player. So that was one that stuck with me since 1977. And you know, that ended up happening. I live on an estate now called Bone Allen Mansion in Georgia. And I have a tennis court we just built a couple years ago. And I really enjoyed it. And it's great. That dream never died. I was always willing to pay the price for that one. That one never went cold, like guitar or some of the other things. And I'm just giving you examples of my own little life, just one person's, existence. But the bottom line is, and there's other things, obviously, we all have multiple things in our lives, and some we give up on because we don't want to pay the price, or we change, and others we don't, and others we pursue. The mental toughness aspect of this is, do you know, have you decided exactly what you want? And then the second question, of course, is always, are you willing to pay the price? And if you are, then go for it. And if you're not, dump it. Let it go. Don't be indecisive. Most people are indecisive. They can't even decide what they want for dinner or lunch or breakfast. You go out to lunch with them and it takes them, 20 minutes to decide what they want for lunch. So I'm not putting people down. I'm just saying that these are people are not going to get what they want most likely. You don't want to be there. You want to be mentally tough enough to say, I'm going to stake my claim in this area. And if you change, then God bless you, change, no problem. We all evolve as human beings, and we change as we get older, and that's all fine. But decide what you want when you change, then decide what you want for the next chapter of your life, and then go for that and ask yourself if you're willing to pay the price. This is how I've seen over the last 30 plus years of doing this work, how people who really get what they want, get what they want. And it really is all about mental toughness. It's all about being decisive and knowing what you want, and being willing to pay the price or dump it and change your mind and then make a new decision on what you want and then move toward it. Something to think about in terms of, ultimate life satisfaction at the end of the day. I mean, who wants to who wouldn't want to come to the end of their life and be laying there on your deathbed saying, you know what, I wish I had more time. I wish I wasn't leaving, but I got what I wanted. That's got to be a pretty good feeling. I think we should go for that. Something to think about. Thanks for watching the blog. I look forward to your comments. See you next time.